Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jessica Flynn and I'm the owner and maker of Flynn Sisters Boutique. And today I'm going to show you how I created this rhinestone wine tumbler using the scatter method and this beautiful rainbow AB rhinestone mix that I got from Auntie Tay. And this is not a tutorial, okay? I am no expert at this. This was my first time. If you've been following me for a while, you know I've said before, I don't think I'll ever do a rhinestone cup, but I just had to try it and I thought it was really cute and I actually really enjoyed it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to have all the products that you see listed and linked down below in the description box. You might even find some discount codes for you there as well. So that's enough chit chat for me. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, you guys, so we're starting with a 12-ounce wine tumbler today from Craft Haven. And like all good projects, we're going to start with a solid prep routine. So I've got a 120 grit sanding block here, and I'm just going to sand the outside of my wine tumbler, avoiding the bottom of it for now. Once I've sanded along the outside of my wine tumbler, I'm going to sand the bottom just in this round circle here where there's like an indent, okay? Want to be careful to avoid the outer rim of that indented circle, okay? Because we're going to leave that exposed and we don't want any scratches to that part of the stainless steel. Once I've get all the sanding done, we're going to wipe this down with some acetone and a paper towel. Once my prep work is done, I'm going to take my tumbler over to my spray booth here and I'm going to spray paint it with a flat black spray paint. You want to use a spray paint that has a primer built into it. Also, you want to make sure again that you took the time to prep the surface of your tumbler so we get good adhesion with our paint. Notice I'm avoiding the bottom of my tumbler. I just want to get a nice light coat of paint on here. I'm going to remove any excess paint that I might have gotten on the bottom of my cup with some acetone and a paper towel. Then I'm going to go in with some 91% rubbing alcohol and a paper towel and remove some of the paint from the very top rim, kind of exposing like a really fine line. The rubbing alcohol is just strong enough to remove a good amount of the paint, but not strong enough to remove too much to where it comes off instantly. I should have to kind of rub a little bit. I'm going to do this because I am going to leave a little bit of that top rim exposed from the stones. I'm not going to go all the way up to the very tippy top where they're a little more vulnerable. The stones I'm going to be using today I got from Auntie Tay as a gift. This was the Rainbow Magical Mix. It's sold out currently and I don't know when she's going to restock it, but there are some really pretty mixes on her site. One of the mega mix jars should be plenty to do a cup this size. I think you get over 3,500 stones. And the glue that I'm using today is the Liquid Fusion Heavy Duty. I will link it down below. I started using these precision tips to start out with, but then they kept getting like clogged. And so I ended up just like squirting the glue on from the bottle and then spreading the glue out with the pointy side of my bling tool. You can find this bling tool on shopantietay.com. I'll have a link down below as well as a discount code so you can pick one up for yourself. It's super cute and it worked out really well for this project. So to start out, I put my stones on around the top rim first and I mixed up the sizes. I didn't want that first line to all be the same size because the remainder of the cup is all going to be different sizes. So I didn't want that top rim to kind of stand out weird from the rest of the design. So I staggered the sizes, but I had them all lined up really straight from the top of each stone, if that makes sense. And I just did like a couple inch size lines at a time so my glue wouldn't dry before I got my stone affixed. And you want to like really kind of press down on your stone after you place a few just to make sure that they are, you know, pressed firmly against the cup, nice and flat and well glued. After I got the first row of stones on, I did kind of take a break and let them dry before I moved on to the rest. That way when I pressed up against that top row, it wouldn't get budged or moved, because it's really important that that top row is super straight so it looks nice and clean along that top rim. From there, this was pretty easy. This is why I picked the scatter method for my first kind of big project. It's because it didn't have to be perfectly lined up. You know, like you just squirt a little bit of glue in a little 1-inch section, spread it out nice and thin. Don't get too much glue on there. All right. But also be aware that it's going to dry pretty fast. Okay. And then it's just like kind of filling in a puzzle, you know, as long as you've got all the spaces kind of filled in. And that's another reason I like these mixes from Auntie Tay, is you've got all different sizes to fill in and make sure there's no gaps. Also, after I put a few stones down, I did go in with the pointy end of my bling tool and kind of just press those stones firmly down against my cup to make sure they were laying nice and flat. And again, really well adhered with the glue. And yes, while this is a super tedious process, it was actually kind of relaxing. I really enjoyed it. I just put a little show on, zoned out, and I went for hours. I mean, I probably sat here for a couple hours at a time for 3 nights to finish this whole thing. And I really enjoyed my time. I actually can't wait to make another one. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it is so much fun. Here's where I was getting to the end, and I just started squirting the glue out straight from the bottle instead of using the precision tip. And then I'd use the pointy end of my bling tool to spread the glue out. This was sort of the hardest part for me, was figuring out the right balance between the glue amount, how fast it was going to dry, how thin I should be spreading it, because if you get too much glue, you risk getting glue over the top of your stones, which is really not good because that'll take away from the sparkle and the shine, obviously. But also you want to have enough to where they're going to adhere really well, and that glue is not going to dry before you get the stones on. That did happen to me a couple times, and I kind of had to scrape some of that partially dried glue off with a pointy end of my bling tool before I placed new glue down to try again. So I think this is just going to take some practice for me, but I really do enjoy the process. Now that I've got all my stones on there and they're mostly dry, I've got 20 milliliters of epoxy already mixed here, and I'm going to throw in some glitter, just enough to saturate through all the epoxy without making it too thick. You don't want to add too much or too little. All right, and once we get all that mixed in there, I'm just going to pour it into the little indent in the bottom of my cup. I only ended up using like a little less than 10 milliliters of epoxy for this, so I poured the rest of it into a car coaster mold. All right, and I did hit it with my torch to pop any bubbles, and then I set this on a safe level surface to dry overnight. You want to double check beforehand that the surface you're letting this dry on is level, otherwise you're going to get pooling to one side or the other. But that's it. So I let this dry all together for about 72 hours before I scrubbed it clean. You definitely want to scrub this clean when you're done, so you get all your fingerprints and any like wax from the jewel picker off of the stones, so they sparkle right up. And I love how this turned out. I could definitely tell I'm a newbie. This is my first one. I've got a lot to learn. Let me know what some of your best tips are in the comments section. And if you like my video, be sure to give us a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. You guys, I'm still recovering from my vertigo, so we're still just doing one video a week for now. I don't know how soon I'll be able to get back to 2 videos a week, but we're trying. So thank you guys so much for sticking with us. Thanks so much for watching my video, and I'll see you again soon. And a big thank you to all of our Flynn Sisters exclusive members. Thank you for your pledge. Your support means the world to our channel. If you love love this video, you could check out our last video here. Also be sure to find us on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and of course subscribe for all our new videos that come out every Wednesday and Saturday. Thanks so much for watching. See you soon.